Hey folks, this is Billy DKY, the truth seeker that simplifies and demystifies. This is going to be my weekly series, the top 10 tweets of the week review, November the 29th, 2009. We'll start off with the biggest tweet of the week that actually helped me make progress and made my life more stable and calm, which was, what you don't accept makes you miserable. And it's sort of common sense, really. I mean, if you can't accept something, don't matter how big it is, it's going to make you miserable. Oh, I hate when they do that. It pisses me off. I hate this. I hate that. So, if you find something really pissing you off, the sooner you can come to terms with it, the better your life will be. Pretty much, that's all we need to say on that. The second top tweet of the week, the truth is strengthened by question, lies are weakened by them. And this came about doing my weekly series on lies, half-truths of the Bible. And I was sitting there going, why do these people don't like me questioning the Bible? I was like, I said, science don't mind me questioning their stuff. Like a squared plus b squared equals c squared, for a right triangle, all that relationship always holds. You don't see a mathematician going, hey, don't you be questioning that. That's our golden calf here in mathematics. Son, I don't like the way you're thinking. You're not going to see that. No, they're going to be... Go ahead and test it, son. You're just going to wind up believing it even more than you did before you started testing it. Which brings up another thought. You can't be fully against something until you're fully for it. I've been fully for science, and I've been fully for religion, and both of them have failed me. So, yeah, something's changing in this world, and that's what we're doing in this video series, plus the other ones. And then goes into my next tweet. All right, let me back up and just say it. The reason Christians don't like you questioning their cherished beliefs is because there's a lot of lies there and they don't want you destroying it because they've got their ego all wrapped in it. Tough titty, I'm going to do it anyway. Third tweet of the week. Imagine a world where science becomes more spiritual and spirituality becomes more scientific. And I've said this before, I don't know if I said it in these videos or not, but... science is real good at cutting out the BS, but science also cuts out the spirit, which that's not good at cutting out the spirit. Religion, on the other hand, leaves in the spirit but leaves in all the BS. That's not good. So what we really need is spirituality with science in it. You know what I mean? In vice versa, however you want to look at it. So that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing spirituality with scientific principles in it, or I'm bringing, which will allow other scientists to be spiritual somewhere down the line. Anyway, something like that's going to happen. That's what I'm pushing out. Because like I tell people, I'm just as much a scientist as I am a spiritual person. I like to say is, I'm where spirituality and the scientific method collide to create a synergy of truth that does not conflict with reality. Anyway, that's a little hype there. Okay, fourth tweet of the week. Your day should progress slowly from the boring to the stimulating. And I've heard people say this too, like, this guy I knew up in Louisville, he said, if I read the Bible first thing today, it sort of sets the course for the day, and I do better. Well, do it if it's working for you, And what I found is, I get on YouTube and interact with people. That's a very stimulating thing. And I found I probably really need to do that in the evenings instead of the morning because it sort of interrupts my morning work that I want to get done. So what I found is, really, it's really nice to get up in the morning, put yourself in a situation where you're doing less stimulating things, which for me, it's, I'll sit in the recliner for an hour. I go for a morning walk, see the sun come up, peaceful stuff, come sit down for an hour and just relax and let everything settle, start off real good. And it's the same thing for you. Let's say you got a job, you got to get in there at a certain time. You come in 15 minutes early, you sort of get settled in. You're not yakking with everybody as you first come in. You sort of get settled in and get working, and you start your mind off quiet. And then as you go through the day, you can start talking more to people, more stimulating things. So anyway, give it a try if you want, and I think you'll find it really does improve your life. And another thing I've been doing is getting up in the morning right before the sun comes up. So when I'm walk sort of into it, but the sun's not in my eyes yet because it hasn't come up, but you still got that nice glow. Oh man, it's nice. But if you got time to do it, if you don't, fine. Okay. Fifth tweet of the week. Progress is the answer to the soulmate question. Oh, I've suffered with soulmates over and over again. And I am tired of suffering with soulmates. And if you've been watching my videos, you know that Jessica Biel was my first soulmate. Oh, that was the first soulmate I was ever aware of, and you think, well, it's got to be. We're soulmates, right? But, I've come to realize, soulmates doesn't mean to have to be, because you got more than one. But now I've made so much progress that when I look at her now, I don't see her as something I want in my life. I've outgrown her. So the point is, you're not going to. When I was at the same level with her, I tried to talk myself out of it, work my way out of it, hated myself out of it. There's nothing I could do except grow myself out of it. Now, I've met another soulmate since then, and I'm going to try to do the exact same thing, just grow myself out of it. And Lao Tzu said, the sage has not known the union of man and woman be at ease complete. So I'm thinking eventually I'll grow myself out of every woman, and I'll just be at peace, Anyway, next tweet. I was reading, since I know I've got a powerful message. I know the message needs to get out, and I don't want to do anything. I don't want my personality to keep it from going to where it needs to go. So I've been reading How to Win Friends and Influence People, and he says in there, he quotes somebody, it says, the greatest desire is to be important. And I was thinking, no, that's not really right. The greatest desire is to be, to exist. That is your greatest desire. You look at people who are old, just to make the example concrete. Somebody that's 80 years old, they're not looking to be famous. They're looking just to be. You know what I mean? They're just trying to survive. Survival is your greatest desire. So, or just to be. That's the ego. So anyway, I better get on, or we're not going to get through all these. Next tweet, use people but don't abuse them. I've always thought that, we've always heard using people, that's a bad thing. Using people is not bad as long as you're not abusing them. And I use them for a productive purpose. It's not a bad thing, so just throw that out there. The ego wants to find ways that you're different than animals. A humble person wants to find connections with animals. And you hear this all the time, well, this is how we're different than animals. Oh my God, it's so arrogant to say that kind of BS. Yeah, you are different from animals. I'm different from you. Imagine if you're sitting here in this, you can't see the recliner, but there's a recliner right here. Imagine you're sitting there, well, I want to find all the ways I'm different than you. Well, let's see, I'm more insightful than you are. I think I'm wiser than you are. And it's just, I'm taller than you. Look at you, you're fat, I'm skinny. Imagine if I did that to you, how you'd be like, man, I hate this guy. And when you're trying to find differences between you and animals, it's just a very arrogant state of mind. When you walk in the woods and you're already, and I wonder sometimes why animals run away from us. And there's several reasons why they run away from the woods. One's just the safety thing. Two, people are pretty obnoxious when they go in the woods. They talk and they're loud and boisterous. But two, and I haven't really ever considered this before, but you're really probably pretty arrogant. You think you're better than them. You know what I mean? And that's why you hear sometimes people, I heard this once in a show that a guy got off, bears attacking people, said some people can go out there for 10 years and never have any problem with bears. And said a guy can get right off the helicopter or whatever it is, and boom, he get attacked the first thing. And I was thinking, yeah, it's because he's probably freaking arrogant. And the bear knows it, and it's pissing the bear off, and the bear eats it. Which that goes into my next tweet. The humble don't fall. And when I say the humble don't fall, I don't mean physically falling, but when you're a humble person, you're not way up high like a movie star. You don't have nowhere to fall. When you're a movie star, you have all this distance to fall. But when you're a humble person, you're living meek, there's nowhere to fall. You've already humbled. So you don't fall. So if you want a nice, easy-going life, just be humble. Always be humble. Humble's a great thing. You can maintain humility. You can't maintain fame or glory or pride and all this stuff. It's just not going to happen. 10th tweet of the week. According to my friend, most who make it through Navy SEAL training are quiet and humble. And I was curious. He was just telling me about his SEAL training stuff, and I was like, what's the unifying thing of the guy? What's the essence of the guys who make it? He said they're quiet. He said they're humble, and you don't want to mess with them. So anyway, folks, like I say, this is the weekly series, and if you don't mind, please rate. And I have several links in the information section if you want to know more. Please rate, and later, folks.